Gateways Through Light and Shadow by Frater Ashen Chassan just got a new edition. The first edition came out in 2016, and it was listening to a podcast, specifically the Glitch Bottle podcast, probably in my opinion, the best esoteric and occult related podcast. There are many others that are almost as good, no doubt, but it's definitely my favorite. And it was listening to a podcast with basically interviewing Frater Ashen Chassan about this book that kind of got me interested in the whole scene of calling spirits to physical presence in the first place. And now, having finally had an opportunity to flick through this weighty tome, I mean, wow, what a beast, eh? I can absolutely confirm that the wait has been worth it. It's a fantastic piece of work where Frater Ashen Chassan and his scribe, here we got Ben Maxtiofan, or Ben Williams, basically did pretty much what John Dee and Edward Kelly did, which is to say that they called a number of spirits and wrote down what they experienced, wrote down what they saw, who they met, how the various encounters went down, very, very extensively. We've got some artwork. Let me just remember who the artwork is by. Alex McVeigh. There we are, illustrating some of the encounters there for us. What I wanted to say is that the production of the book is great. Yes, it is. It is perfect bound, so that is to say that the pages are glued, which is not such a bad thing actually. It's such a large volume that the weight of the page stays open, as you can see, without help. So that's absolutely fine. No problems there for me in terms of the book construction. The cover is actually cloth bound. It's a more like a nylon, right? So it's going to last a very long time. You got this lovely gold stamp on the front. But yeah, it's the contents that really outshine the presentation even more, right? I mean, you've got this great foreword by Dr. Stephen Skinner, where he talks about his own thoughts on the book, which is really nice. I just want to say what a great writer Frater Ashen Chassan actually is. Sorry, that's the foreword by Stephen Skinner. We know that he can write beautiful prose and very readable, very accessible. But yeah, Frater Ashen Chassan. Oh, boy, I've only read the first 3 or 4 chapters. This is the book that I'm taking with me on holiday tomorrow. It's way too thick. I definitely shouldn't be taking this one on holiday with me. But I can't help it. It's just so addictive. It's so I just can't stop reading it. It's absolutely fantastic. It's beautifully written. It's written in a way that assumes that that you've got a brain on you, but also assumes that you're not necessarily a specialist. So it's exactly what you want, right? It's the narrative is fascinating. It's his thoughts on the whole process, his thoughts on what's going on, and so on and so forth, is really interesting. And then the encounters, right? The encounters are just so much fun. If you've ever read through some of the John Dee encounters, right? Some of his recorded accounts of meeting up with various spirits, then take that and put it into a modern language written by someone who was intending to be reread, right? So somebody who actually cares about you being interested in what he's doing, and that's what you get here. So he evokes several spirits, focusing quite heavily on the planetary spirits, so planetary Olympian spirits, but also planetary archangels, many chthonic entities also. So there's really plenty going on for all tastes and interests going on here. Lots and lots, and it's really beautifully presented all the way through with this lovely two-tone presentation that Azoth Press do so well. You may remember me reviewing. It was. I'm trying to find it on my new shelves. By the way, hey, check out the new shelves. I'll show you those properly at some point soon. But it was the Dolmen Arch. There we go. The Dolmen Arch was the one that I was looking for, which was in kind of black and green, and they've gone with a very similar situation here, where it's not black and green, but it's black and red, and it's exactly what you'd want from a Solomonic piece of work, right? So yeah, absolutely great. That's very, very interesting, very, very cool, and incredibly inexpensive for what you're actually getting. And this is really the reason why I say that for the low price that they're offering this for, there aren't many publishers out there that will give you this kind of quality for that kind of price. So that's fantastic. Just maybe a little note is that there was a previous book to this one called Gateways Through Stone and Circle, I think it was. Yes, that was the very first one, where he explained actually the process of his scrying, where he basically took Trithemius's method of calling a spirit into a crystal. He explains here that if you don't have access to that book, which was published by Nephilim Press, I believe, then it's not a problem. He gives you plenty of free sources where you can read for yourself what Trithemius's process was. Of course, naturally, he points you to the Twilight Grotto of Joseph Peterson, an extraordinary repository of esoteric and occult essential texts and grimoires. So there we are. That's my quick overview. First look, let's say, of the Gateways Through Light and Shadow by Azoth Press. If you've not listened to the podcast, the Glitch Bottle podcast, where Frater Ashen Chassan was talking about this book, I strongly recommend going to check that out. And then I really challenge you not to be interested in picking up a copy from Miskatonic Books. Naturally, Azoth Press is an imprint of Miskatonic Books, so go and check it out over there. There we are. I hope you enjoyed the review. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe down below. Next time I speak to you will probably be from Amsterdam. I'm going to Amsterdam tomorrow morning, very early, with my family. We're going to go and visit the Rittman Library at last. And then from there on Friday, fingers crossed, we'll be going to London to visit my sister in London, and of course spend a little bit of time at Watkins Books. So you can look forward to a little tour of Watkins Books, hopefully in the very near future. In the meantime, I wish you all a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and take care of yourself and of each other. Take care. Bye-bye.